Hey guys, beautiful day here in Nashville, gardening with Tammy. If you don't know who I am, I'm Tammy. So welcome to my channel. Just kind of wanted to jump in here for a minute and kind of talk about my favorite subject of all times, which is gardening. So fellow geeker, I guess you would say. I'm a geek when it comes to gardening. Absolutely love talking about it. Pretty sure a couple of people get tired of me talking about gardening, but this is life, and I'm on the journey of self-love. And what I mean by that is just simply growing food, eating as much as I can as far as raw vegetables and fruit to, better help me and my family's health. Again, if you're new here, thank you for joining in. I'm Tammy, and this is my channel, Gardening with Tammy. Just kind of want to come in and talk about some of the things that I am thinking of doing this year. I am about 3 years into gardening. I've gotten questions about, is it something that's hard to do? It's just like everything else. You put in the work and the work works for you. So if you're a type of person where you just don't have the time to actually garden, it'll still grow, but you won't get the yield that you're expecting. So, like I said, 3 years in, I started off with gifted plants, cucumber, tomato, and basil. And then I just kind of wanted to check it out and see if I had a love for growing, to see if I actually had a green thumb, and it took off. So I just kind of wanted to jump in and say, oh, I want to grow everything, So that was my first year of gardening, and I wanted to grow absolutely everything. Everything that I could possibly think of, I wanted to grow it. Common gardener's mistake. Here's what I found out throughout the years. So for my first year, I planted those three main crops. They did well. Then I started to add in peppers, which actually did well, but it wasn't exactly beneficial. And what I mean by that is we didn't eat it. So the second year of growing, I went in and I added a whole bunch of other crops, and never been a flower person until I realized that in order for you to have food, you probably should add some type of flowers to your garden, because again, the pollinators, the bees, help with your garden. So that's just a tidbit for you. If you do not have any pollinators in your garden and you're not getting the yield that you're wanting, even though you're tending to them, you need to add something like flowers. Bees love flowers. Certain bees are attracted to the way that the flowers look, the color of the flowers, the smell, and the flowers also deter pests in your garden, but that's another subject. So back to my little ramble. The second year I grew a whole bunch of things. I grew corn, I grew hot peppers, I think, as a matter of fact, I grew ghost peppers, and I tasted one and I was done. I'm not a true spicy fan, and that just pretty much blew my top off, and I was just like, yep, nope, this isn't for me. So I ended up giving that entire group away, which is nothing wrong with that. And then I tried my hand in other things like okra, all types of tomatoes that you can think of. I mean, I had every seed for it, and I was just like, yep, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this. In the end, friends, I could barely eat all of that. Then on top of that, I was trying to give it away to people at my job, and it was just a lot. Productive, but wasteful. So this year I just kind of sat down and went back to the drawing board to try to figure out exactly what it is that me and my family eat. And truthfully, pretty much eat the same things every year. So with that being said, I kind of dropped everything down and said, okay, like, what are the things that I know for a fact that we eat? So as of right now, in my freezer, I have bags full of okra. Never cooked it. I have given some away that have been fresh off the stem, and eventually I'm going to have to give that frozen okra away, because truth be told, I probably only used 2 actual okras, like 2 out of the whole 4 bags, and I had two beautiful plants. They produce like crazy, and I still have 4 bags, even though I gave away some. And I'm talking about the gallon freezer bags, like the big freezer bags. I still have some in there. So I mean, that was wasteful on my part. Productive, extremely, but wasteful on my part. So I definitely want to make sure that I grow things in my 3rd year of growing a garden that we actually will eat. So one of the things that I noticed that we eat a lot of, onions. Every meal, and when I say every meal that I will make, I put onions in it. As a kid, I hated onions, and I was just kind of like, why is my mom doing this to us? Like, this is by far the nastiest thing she could ever put in this meal. And then I became older, and I realized she was onto something. So what I decided to do is grow onions. Now, I went and looked up, because we're a family of 3. Everyone else has went on their separate ways, so we only have one child left at home. And it's just, the youngest and me and my husband and I. So I wanted to make sure that whatever I decided to grow this year, that I grew enough for the entire year. Now, guys, let's just talk about something. Let's pause for a minute here. Let's talk about something. We all have felt the sting of going to the grocery stores. You have maybe like 3 or 4 things, and then you get to the actual cash register and they're like $60. And you're thinking to yourself, what did I buy? I literally bought the same things that I always buy. Why is the price so high? So if you're feeling the way that I feel when it comes to that, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do what I'm doing this year. And what I mean by that is I wanted to make sure that I grew enough food as far as produce for us for an entire year. Yes, you heard that right. An entire year. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to expand my garden, mainly because when you go to the grocery store, the products aren't exactly what you would find in your own garden. And let's just be honest, and nothing against the grocery stores or who they buy their produce from, but if you have not ever tasted a homegrown tomato, cucumber, whatever the case may be, you're missing out. And when I say that, because it's the flavor, it's just packed with flavor. For the longest, I hated cucumbers. I absolutely hated cucumbers, and I was like, it tastes like watermelon rind, and I'm like, this is wasteful. Like, it tastes like nothing. Like, I don't understand why people like these, until I started to grow them. Now, that first year when I grew cucumbers, I was like, okay, well, this is an experiment. Either I'm gonna eat them or I'm not. And I love them. I absolutely love cucumbers now. Now, I'm not saying that would be the same thing for everybody. I'm just into trying to figure out a way to get as much food for an entire year. So, back to what I was saying. So, thanks for my, listening to my little rant. But this is one of the reasons why I'm deciding to do what I'm doing this year. Now, granted, there are going to be some fails. That's nothing that I can do about, so things fail. I just start over, and I'm not a perfect gardener, never claimed to be a perfect gardener. Definitely don't know everything, not claiming to know everything, but one thing that I have done is learn from experience. So experience, as you all know, is the best teacher when it comes to anything remotely close to doing anything. You live and you learn, and hopefully you don't go back and make the same mistake. So it's the same thing with gardening. So this year I just kind of wanted to say, what is it that I could possibly grow that we would actually eat the entire year? Onions. So what I did is I went and did some research for different onion starts. I have seeds. Well, this year I wanted to do a little bit different. Although I have packs of seeds of onions, I mean, like probably 20 packs of seeds that I've gotten from different providers like My Gardener and Baker Creek. I wanted to make sure that I had the best success rate versus trying to grow everything, because I didn't want to have to try to grow it in the house, and I just didn't have the room for it, honestly. So what I did was went to this company called Stark Bros. I also went to Seeds Now, and then My Gardener. So I started out with starts from them, and right now in my garden as we speak, and I will be planting more closer towards the fall because I'll be ordering more. Right now in my garden I have a total of 238 onions. For a family of 3, I think that could last me the entire year. Although I don't cook every day, that should be well enough onions to last us the entire year. That's one less thing that I have to put on my grocery list when I go to the grocery store, and I'm extremely big on that. I don't know about you guys, I do not like grocery shopping. I just honestly do not, and it's just me being honest. I don't like going in the grocery stores. I could find something better to do with my time, to be honest, but I have to eat, and we have to eat. The second thing that I decided that I was going to do as far as growth, tomatoes. Now, as I told you before, the second year that I grew tomatoes, I tried to grow every type of tomato that you could think of, coming down from cherry tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, just the small little round slicer tomatoes, like everything. What I found out is that we only really eat 2 types of tomatoes. That's just it. So what I narrowed it down to when it came to tomatoes were 3 varieties, and that is the little cherry tomatoes, the large cherry tomatoes, because I absolutely love those. And if you've ever had them out of the garden, you literally can eat those like candy. I mean, like, they are super sweet, super good, and you can just pretty much just say, okay, like, I'm just gonna, pop one and just keep moving, and you get full off of it because it's a tomato, right? And then the other type of tomato that I decided I was going to grow this year is a slicer tomato. We do eat those. I buy those at the grocery store all the time, and just wanted to make sure that I incorporated that into my plans. The third tomato is an heirloom tomato. So what I did was I went and I found some tomatoes from stars from Baker Creek, My Gardener, and so I got those, and those are what I planted, like the very large tomatoes that, my hands aren't that big, but they are pretty big to fit in the palm of your hands, or maybe larger. The other things that I decided that I wanted to grow was garlic. We eat a lot of garlic. We eat just as much garlic as we do onions. So I wanted to make sure that I grew enough garlic to last us for an entire year. Well, I can tell you right now, I didn't plan all of it. And unfortunately, he would probably kill me for saying this. My husband did not like the way that the fresh garlic smelled from, the stores when we purchased them in the fall. Requested that they be taken outside, and it's money ruined. So I have to purchase all new garlic other than the elephant garlic. Now, I did find some elephant garlic because I've been looking for this for the longest, and I've not ever had any luck finding the elephant garlic, but I did find some at seedsnow.com. This isn't an endorsement video. I just really want to share with you guys like what all that I have done and where I purchased from and the success rate from. So if you're looking for elephant garlic right now, I think that they are sold out. You can get on the wait list for it, and it's absolutely beautiful. The cloves are large, and so that's what I have growing as well. Beans. I don't know about you guys, but I love beans. I absolutely love beans. I would eat beans and rice and be okay because that's my protein. I don't have to have any form of meat. It can just be beans and rice, or just beans period, and I'm good. Beans and onions, and I'm good. So what I decided this year, because the second year of growing, I planted every type of bean that you can think of: black beans, black eyed peas, green beans, just runner beans, everything. We didn't eat that. So this year, for my third year of gardening, I just simply stuck with the basics. I stuck with the regular green bean, and I currently have about 20 of those planted, because again, I'm trying to grow for the entire year. I can cook some, I can freeze some, and hopefully I would still have enough, because they are very productive if you've never grown beans before. Another thing that I decided to do, because I did update my raised bed. Sorry, I'm sitting on a raised bed and it's becoming extremely uncomfortable. Trying to find somewhere to sit in and not hurt. So another thing that I decided I was going to do was cucumbers. The bed that I'm currently sitting on is cucumbers, and I planted a whole bed full of those because I absolutely love them. Now, I didn't really need a whole bed. I hope you guys can see me. The sun is like glaring. I didn't need a whole bed of cucumbers, because more than likely they're going to be extremely productive. We're not going to be able to eat them all, but I at least want to grow enough so that we could have the cucumbers readily available when we need them. Because I don't know about you guys, but I could literally just wash them, cut them, and walk around, and that's just it. I would literally not cook them or put them in anything, or just walk around and eat sliced cucumbers all day. All right, so the other things that I decided to do was corn. I absolutely love corn on the cob especially. So what I decided to do this year was grow a whole bed of corn. Now, in reality, when you grow corn and you put a few seeds into the ground, you only get enough for maybe one person. So that's why I did a whole bed. Now, my husband and my daughter aren't really fans of corn on the cob. They would prefer that it be shucked off the cob before they would actually eat it. I'm not going to do that. I love corn on the cob, so I grew a whole bed of corn. Now, another thing that I decided that I wanted to do was squash. I absolutely love squash, and I will stagger the growings for the squash, mainly because the squash bug. This is right now my arch nemesis, and it is something that I'm trying. I just literally killed one before we started this video. So they attack the stem, the main stem. It blocks any production from happening from the cucumbers. From the squash, and it kills the plant. So I will have to stagger it. But right now, I thought something went off. So right now I currently have about maybe like 12 to 15 planted at the moment. So because of that, I just wanted to make sure that I had enough growing, so that I could actually have enough for food put away, because we absolutely love squash. We would eat squash every day if possible. One of the other things that I decided that I wanted to do this year was carrots, because I love carrots. My daughter loves carrots. My husband will eat them. Carrots, and then on top of that, I decided to do a whole bed of strawberries, a bed of raspberries. I did purchase some trees. So originally I had two trees. One was a Granny Smith bare root dwarf, and a pink lady dwarf. Now, in Tennessee, we're not really used to the cold climates. It killed my two trees. So with that being said, it was still under warranty. I did purchase them from Stark Bros, and thank you so much, Stark Bros, for replacing those trees with no cost to me, because they were still under warranty. So I currently will have two new trees returning, and thank you guys so much, because we were really looking forward to those apples. And so I did go and purchase another apple tree. It is a yellow, like a golden apple. I purchased a peach tree and a plum tree as well. So, and then I'm growing watermelon because we do eat that. So it's having a little slow time germinating. Like I have a few in there, and I really think the reason why I haven't gotten many from the germination is because I really think the birds took the seeds. I'm pretty sure because they were hanging around their bed. So I'll kind of, eye it and see if I need to do anything different. Now, also, I don't know if you guys know that I actually have asparagus growing in a raised bed. So, and I have a bunch of herbs that we normally use. We use a lot of cilantro. I do have basil growing. Have amaranth growing, but the amaranth I'm using that as a deterrent for the squash bug. But I'm not planning on eating that. But just some of the things that I decided that I wanted to grow this year to give us a better start. And I did grow things like salad, like I said, carrots. I'm trying to think what else. I did put in bok choy. So I don't know if that's going to pan out or not. But the winter was so cruel here that none of my outdoor plants survived. My blackberry, blueberry, raspberries, gone. So, but I did have them in containers. So what I decided to do this time, I did purchase more. So what I decided to do this time is actually go and put them in the raised beds. So I have 2 raised beds right now currently being dedicated to onions. So I think what I'm going to do is just leave that be because of course they're not ready, but I will sorry, it's a bunch of gnats and everything behind me and it's just like ugh. But what I will do is plant them in the bed that used to be my strawberry bed because I did up-pot that and relocate it. But yeah, so that's just some of the stuff that I'm doing this year, mainly because again it's one of those things where it's either you decide to grow what you actually use or you're just going to be wasteful all over again. Oh, and I also have a grape vine that I purchased 2 years ago that is starting to come out of dormancy. So it is coming out of dormancy, and then it is currently sprouting. So you can see like the little beginnings of grapes, and I have parsley. I'm just kind of walking through because I can't remember everything that I planted. But for the most part, that's pretty much it. And those are really the only things that we eat. We're not very picky eaters, so we don't really grow or eat that much outside of what we already have. So I'm going to swing you guys around, kind of give you a brief show of what I got going on. And again, it's so many of these fruit flies or gnats. I don't know what they are, but they're driving me crazy and it's just making me itchy. So I don't know if you guys can see. That's the garden thus far. Oh, and these strawberry starts here, I purchased them, if you guys can see, from Stark Brothers, and they have taken off. I mean, it's like some of them already have flowers. So if you guys have not ever checked out Stark Bros Seeds now, oh, in Tye, Georgia, well, yeah, it's tytyga.com. They do have fruit trees, just all the types of things, and it's very reasonably priced. I do have to go and purchase 2 more trees because I don't know if you guys know, I'm stepping in the shade here, but when it comes to actual fruit trees, some of them need a pollinator. And what that means is that they need assistance with growth. So that's one of the things that I have to go back and get another plum and another peach, and I'll probably get that from Tai, Georgia, because I think they're on there. You can get them 2 to 3 feet for like $18 or $19, so which is really good. And I'm gonna swing you around here to kind of show you like what I've been working on. And I forgot to inform that I am doing potatoes this year. So I do have that growing, and then you'll see some of my cleanup that I've been doing, because again, gardening is all about learning. It's not perfect. I mean, everything that you see out there, I've worked hard to keep it up. So, but I'm going to show you guys around here so you can pretty much see. I did purchase some mint, 3 different types of mint. That is the actual potato bed. And then these are the trees that I got that did not root. They were completely dead. So yeah, that's that. And then here are the fruit trees that I did purchase. This is the peach. And then I purchased an apple, which does have starts sprouting. And then this is the plum that I purchased as well. So that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. I just kind of want to jump in here and show you the progress, and to let you know that gardening is all about learning as you go. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be exactly what you want it to be, and you have to work for it, and you have to work hard, just like everything else. But my main thing is just putting the message out there and hoping that you guys think about starting a garden. I mean, it's pretty self-fulfilling, I guess I would say. This is something that I look forward in doing. I can't wait to get out here and just, hammer away and just dig in the dirt, and it releases, all kinds of stress, and then I'm happy. And I don't know about you guys, but no one wants to deal with stress all day long, but this is very relaxing for me, so I look forward to it. But that's pretty much all that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining in today, listening to me go on and on about gardening, what I'm doing this year. So I'll do some follow-ups and everything. I try to do better with doing videos, because I have not been doing that. I've been doing other things instead of gardening videos, so I'll try to do my best to get that back up and running. But that's all that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and geeking with me. Gardening with Tammy. You guys have a great evening.